back on episode 95 of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast. I think now that I'm saying that, I'm actually kind of unsure. I don't know if I've got it right, but I think I've got it right in saying that this is episode 95 of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast. My name is Jonathon Howe. This show brought to you by Van Sickle Pet Value and Lundy's Lane Pet Value. Don't forget that on top of having the best food, treats, toys, and accessories for your four-legged best friend, they also got your race day hookup for Merrittville Speedway. You can grab your race tickets ahead of time by stopping in store, either location at 420 Van Sickle Road in St. Catharines, right across from the Best Buy, or at the corner of Kaler and Lundy's Lane in Niagara Falls. That's where you can find Lundy's Lane Pet Value and get yourself hooked up and ready to go. You can beat the box office and have your tickets ready to go for Saturday nights. And this is another one that we had to wait a couple weeks. Last week, had my entire laptop basically get bricked on me, or at least the internet get bricked. It was a whole technical snafu. For whatever reason, I couldn't load any of the dirt-related websites, like anything that runs off of my race pass. Laptop just didn't want to work, and even Riverside, where I record this podcast, wasn't working. So fixed all that up. Had a couple days off. It's been a busy few weeks for me. Was supposed to be a doubleheader weekend. Mother Nature unfortunately affected that. Osh weekends, it's been even longer since they've been on racetrack because they were off for the powwow at the end of July. Had a rain out on Friday. So let's jump right into the Southern Ontario Dirt Show race report with some action from Ransomville Speedway. This happened back on July 26th. And we'll jump right into, well, let's start with the modifieds here. They're coming up first for me. Matt Williamson, St. Catharines native, starts third, picks up the win ahead of Gary Lindberg. Ryan Susi, we recently had on the show, finished on the podium in that one. A couple other notables, Kyle Rickner, who we've seen on the Canadian side more often than not. He finished sixth. Noah Walker, who's was coming over to Merrittville on Saturdays, but I think has chosen to now focus solely on Friday nights at Ransomville. He finished fifth. Chad Brockman finished seventh in that one. Nelson Mason, the other, no, there's two Canadians in that one. Nelson Mason started 12th, finished 10th, and Jacob Dykstra, new to the modified world, the Port Colborne native, has gone from sprint car racing back to the modified ranks. He started 15th, finished 12th in the Friday night feature at Ransomville just a couple weeks ago. In the Sterling Lubricants Sportsman from Friday night a couple weeks back, Cody McPherson gets the win in that one. Surprise, surprise, keeps on winning in that one. Nathan Peaty was in the field for that one as well. Started 21st, finished 18th in the 23N ride. He was the only other Canadian present for that one on the Friday night. All right, let's shift over to Merrittville Speedway now, where we'll recap the action from July 27th. And it has to start with what was a double feature night. So this was the modifieds making up for July 6th that they missed. We launch into this one. Gary Lindberg started 12th, picks up the win ahead of Chad Brockman. Dylan Davidson, who started on pole, finished third. James Fries and Shane Pierce rounds out your top five in that first of, like I say, double features on the night on July 27th. Moving over to the second modified feature for the Commercial Auto Electric 358 modifieds, it was Lindberg again, sweeping the night total. Started 14th, finished first in this one, ahead of Shane Pierce, Pete Bicknell, Scott Wood, and Justin Sharp rounds out your top five in this one. Moving down to the 7X SO Baron Roofing Dirt Car Sportsman, Cody McPherson started 15th and won that one ahead of Adam Leslie, Kyle Rothwell, Noah Mamo, and Jeff Panunte. Scrolling on down to the Hoosier stocks, it was Dave Bailey picking up yet another win on the year ahead of Pete Reed, Zach Bleach, Jim Lampman, Chris Crow rounds out your top five in the Hoosier stocks. And one more feature to talk about from that July 27th night. Brent Bigelow started 15th and drove up through the field to finish one spot better than Josh Slater. And Ryan Anderson was third. Greg Zach with a great run in fourth. RJ Pitts rounds out your top five in that one from the 27th of July. Moving down the line to the most recent Saturday night action, it was August 3rd. We had the Bill Willard Senior Sterling Silver event. We'll start with the Sportsman for that reason. Tyler Pacholski picks up the win, his second on the year, and only the second feature not won by Cody McPherson at Merrittville this year in the Sportsman. The only person besides Cody who's won races, Tyler Pacholski. Cody McPherson drove up from 14th to 2nd, Noah Mamo 3rd, Jacob Chevalier with a great run in 4th for the youngster, and Taylor Vanderzand droves up 5 spots to finish in 5th from 10th in that one. So Tyler Pacholski's name forever going on the Bill Willard Sr. Sterling Silver Trophy. On that night as well, good pal, someone who Tyler credited with helping set up the race car, Brad Rouse, picks up his first feature win of the year for the modifieds, winning from 10th place on the grid ahead of Gary Lindberg, Nelson Mason, Todd Gordon, and Freddie Carlton, your top 5 in that one. Moving on down to the Hoosier stocks, it was Kyle Pelrine also picking up his first win of the year ahead of Mark Fawcett, Dave Bailey, Donnie Lampman, Zach Bleach, and in the Rona Deutsch modlites, Brent Begelow picks up the win yet again ahead of Josh Slater. Cohen Corbett up in the podium spot this time. Riley Slater with a fantastic run from the pole finishes 4th, and Evan Leonard, another great run as well for him, started 13th, drove up to the 5th spot for the Stony Creek, Ontario native. And one more to tell you about from Saturday night's action, Van Sickle Pet Value PV on the lane, 4 cylinders. Ken Hare started 15th and won this one ahead of Alex Riley, who started in the 23rd spot and drove up to 2nd. Really impressive drive for Riley, who had, I believe, a tire go flat during heat racing that took him out early and put him back in the pack for the initial start of this one. Hannah Rothwell finishes in the 3rd spot. Austin Worstro, Mason Anderson round out your top 5 in that one. We'll touch on the Super Dirt Car Series here. Looking at the point standings right now, Matt Shepard leads Matt Williamson by 27 points. Jimmy Phelps sits 3rd, Tim Sears sits 4th, and Anthony Perego, early point leader in the season, has dropped down to the 5th spot. They are off for a little bit longer here, but they get back going with Summer Fast August 12th from Brewerton. Then they are at Land of Legends on August 13th, Fulton on the 14th, and then August 20th, mark it on your calendars, the Super Dirt Car Series return to Ransomville Speedway for Summer Nationals. Looking forward to that one. Going to be trying my best to be in attendance for that one. Hopefully, I think I'm going to be able to pull that one off. Short Track Super Series. Couple of events to recap for them, including one race on Canadian soil since we last chatted. Down in Granby, David Hebert, the Quebec native, picks up the win. Good run for Quebec drivers in Quebec, racing modifieds between David Hebert and Michael Perron winning the King of the North at Drummondville in the Super Dirt Car Series. Matt Shepard finished 2nd in that one. Stuart Friesen was 3rd. Other Canadians, Michael Perron finished 4th from the pole in this one. Matthew Desjardins with a top 10 run in 8th. Sebastian Goujon in 9th. And Mario Claire finished just outside the top 10 in the 11th spot. More than a few Quebec natives all throughout this field. Matt Williamson, tough night for him, started 2nd, ended up 25th in this one with some, I believe, motor problems, if I have the story correct on that side of things. Big week for the World of Outlaws. Obviously, the Knoxville Nationals coming up this week, and that has most of the sprint car world's attention. We'll recap a couple of the ones that we missed, though. Going back to Williams Grove, Friday, July 26th, TJ Stutz got the win in that one. Then David Gravel clicked off a couple more from Williams Grove in Weed Sport back on my birthday, July 28th. Should have been at that show. I don't know how I missed that one. I think I did talk about getting to that one, but ended up doing some family stuff instead. But David Gravel, either way, back-to-back wins at the end of July. Then the month of August opened with a pair of wins for Kyle Larson at Federated Auto Parts Raceway in Beverly, Missouri. Picks up the wins in the Ironman 55, and Larson goes back-to-back there before this week, where night 1 went to Gio Scelzi of the World of Outlaws Knoxville Nationals. It was Scelzi ahead of Jacob Allen, Justin Peck, Chase Randall, and Brent Marks rounds out your top 5 from the first night of action. No action to talk about from the high limit sprint cars. They've been off since July 23rd, and Thunderbolt Raceway, the next date for them for some Thursday Night Thunder. That coming up August 15th for those who are looking to keep up with the high limit series. The championships right now, Brad Sweet still out in front by almost 100 points over Tyler Courtney, Brent Marks, Rico Abreu, and Corey Day, your top 5 as of July 23rd's event for the championship points in these high limit sprint cars. But that wraps up all things that I wanted to cover for the for this edition of the Race Report for the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Not a ton going on this week. It's another rush show for me. Very busy summer between planning a wedding, family events, concerts. It's been a crazy amount of time. We're going to jump right into, well, I kind of want to talk a little bit about Merrittville Speedway because that's where I've been and that's what most of my attention has been paid to this year. And right now, you got to respect the role that Gary Lindberg is on. I think he is rounded into championship form. Like I'm looking at the point standings here as of the race from Saturday night. Gary is now up 64 points on Freddie Carlton. And I'm not sitting here saying that Freddie or Pete, who's only 66 back, as Pete McNeil sits in third in points. I'm not saying that either of them are out, but I really like what I've seen from Lindberg in terms of a championship title chase in the last couple weeks. He's just found a different gear in terms of patience, I find. And I think that's kind of been reflected in the entire modified division and how they've been running each other in general in the last little while. It's almost like some of the silliness and the craziness that came out of the early portion of the year that's all been put aside. And now we've got this kind of sprint to the finish of the season. And Gary looks like he's in really good shape to, I don't want to say he's going to wrap up the title because, again, it's 64 points. That can be found. The couple bad nights, and Freddie can be right back in that, or anybody else. Now, how exactly does that happen without Gary having trouble? I don't know, because he's just been suddenly so smooth. He was the championship favorite, I would say, going into the year. We can go back to that episode I did with Michael Caldwell a couple months back now at the start of the season, previewing things. But I was pretty sold on Gary probably being the favorite in the modifieds, and he's definitely lived up to the hype. Looking down the roster here of guys who have picked up wins, Brockman, Rouse, Sharp. I think all this was expected. Shane Pierce almost had another one, man. He was dang close, coming up a little bit short to Gary that one night, but man, I just, you got to respect what the 37S guys are bringing to the table lately. Like they just certainly have found the gear they need, and I think Gary's just not pushing the envelope. I think he's letting the car and the racetrack come to him. Just how it seems from my viewpoint. He doesn't need to have that desperate sprint to the front that we may have seen him get himself in trouble with. But that's the magic of having the drone footage. Is we can go back and watch all that, and maybe you disagree with you. You can let me know. You can let me know via social media at SODS_POD on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Facebook. You can email the show, Southern Ontario Dirt Show at gmail.com is our email address. If you got something to say, let me know. Would love to hear your thoughts. But right now, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Gary. I mean, elsewhere, it's not as much to talk about in terms of points battles right now. I mean, I think we can all admit that most likely, I think that the sportsman might be wrapped up. I don't know. It's hard to say. Cody McPherson's up at 123 on Adam Leslie, and I guess if he decides to travel or anything like that, that could put things in jeopardy, or if somehow he has a couple DNFs in a row. Adam Leslie is right there, but you got to give a shout out to Taylor Vanderzanden, who's had a quiet, consistent year. Same for Noah Mamo. You don't really think about them as being threats for race wins, but I feel like when I reflect on me actually announcing the amount of times that I'm talking about Taylor Vanderzanden making a pass, it just always seems to be happening. Curtis Free's another guy who another guy that I've seen move forward throughout the field in this sportsman division. And then, we've talked about the youngsters. Looking at the top 10 in points, Nigel Pentecoski just floating there quietly in 10th, learning lots. I know he got tangled up in an incident when he took out Adam Leslie this weekend. Kind of just seemed like a racing deal from my vantage point, but I couldn't really tell. And I'm sure when I go back and watch that drone footage, I'll see exactly what exactly happened. But I just remember being up in the tower and we're like, I think the 78 got him, but definitely a scary moment. I had a chance to talk to Tyler Pachelski, who, he's leading the race, running away with it, and sees his teammate pointed backwards with 4 laps to go, whatever it was in that sportsman feature for the Bill Wood Senior the other night. And he told me that he was screaming under the helmet for like a couple seconds, and he let it go. It was calm, and I said, "Yeah, that's the poise of a winner. Once you break through for one, I feel like it changes how you can compartmentalize and how you can manage yourself behind the wheel." So um, we'll see what comes the rest of the year. I mean, Cody, I don't think is done winning, but is anybody else going to break through for a win? Maybe Taylor, maybe Noah, maybe it's somebody a little bit deeper in points. Maybe it's a Billy Bleach Jr. who can take advantage one night and pick up a win. Who knows? Mateo Penante Jr., another one that Mateo was leading. I'm trying to remember if this was this Saturday or I feel like my Saturdays are blurring together, but Mateo had a great run going at one point, and just car, I think, had a suspension failure or maybe a brake issue. Either way, he had to take it into the go-kart track, could not finish the race while running up towards the front of the field. And that was tough to see for the 99P Junior bunch because they, I feel like Mateo's another one that's right there, probably knocking on the door of the breakthrough win. Dave Bailey started to round into form in the Hoosier stocks after, I don't want to say a slow start, but he's started to kind of round into form. Mark Fawcett had a disqualification for a fuel issue a couple weeks back, which affected his point standings. Like I'm looking at it right now, it says he's 66 points back in the Hoosier stock points, according to Merrittville Speedway's website. And that obviously would have been a little bit closer if Mark's finish was held up or upheld, I should say. Pete Reed right there in third points. Kyle Pellryan breaks through for a win. He's up in fourth. Zach Bleach in fifth. Rob Murray got suspended a couple weeks ago after tangling with Kyle Pellryan and exacting some revenge under caution. That's another guy that I was expecting to have a pretty good year. Jason Fontaine, I feel like, has just got the bad luck bug going right now. Had another, I think, maybe transmission issue this week. It looked like something was amiss. Smoke, fluid all of a sudden out of that 1J on the initial start of the race. That was tough to see for Jason Fontaine, who had a lot of speed to start the year. But mechanical gremlins have been plaguing that 1J from maybe making himself more of a championship threat, if you will. And we're in for a duel in the Roto Deutsch modlites. Josh Slider up 20 points on Brent Bigelow. Feel like those two are going to be really fun to watch over the next couple weeks. They've been kind of lockstep with each other. Brent's had the upper hand the last couple of weeks. I think it's now, if I remember correctly, I think it's 4 wins for Brent, 3 for, it is 4 wins for Brent now on the year, 3 for Josh. Josh has one more top 5 finish compared to Brent. They both have 12 top 10s on the year, and 20 points is the difference as of right now for those guys. And again, we'll look down at another great battle between Alex Riley and Ken Hare in the Van Sickle Pet Value PV on the Lane 4 cylinders. Had some requests to get Ken Hare on the show. We're going to try to line that up going forward. I do have a little piece with Alex Riley that we taped trackside that I'm going to air on this show as part of the sticker program, the SODS Pod Sticker Star. You buy a sticker from the program. They are 1 for 5, 3 for 10. Put that sticker on the race car. You're going to get a little photo shoot and an interview trackside with me. And then we're going to post it up on our Hits FM. We're going to post it up on our socials, and you can check it out and, give a shout out to your sponsors, give a chance to thank the people that get you to the racetrack on the internet. So we've got Alex Riley, and we're going to air the Mason Anderson one as well that went up on social media. Those 2 clips are coming up. It's just getting good in some of these championship battles. Like I say, 4 points separating Alex Riley and Ken Hare after Kenny's win on Saturday night. It's good stuff. Tight battle in the mod lights. Hoosier stocks a little bit further apart, but that one far from over, and the modifieds are just getting good as well, although Gary is definitely trying to step away from the field with how he's been running, especially through the month of July. Lots coming up on the calendar. Good night coming up at Merrittville Speedway. I have to be away for a wedding, unfortunately, so I'm going to be missing this Saturday, which is autograph night, family autograph night on the year. Bring your souvenirs, whatever it is that you need signed. It is now the chance to meet your favorite Merrittville Speedway drivers this Saturday night. So go and check that out, and check out these Sticker Star SODS Pod interviews and we'll see you at the races coming up. Folks from Van Sickle Pet Value and PV on the Lane aren't just fans of your favorite four-legged friends, they are race fans too. That's why Jeff and Rhonda Riley, as well as their staff, have teamed up with Merrittville Speedway to make your race day experience more convenient. Race fans can now pick up tickets for race nights while grabbing the highest quality food, treats, toys, and accessories for their pets from the St. Catharines and Niagara Falls locations. Beat the box office and the crowds. Their support of local racing doesn't just stop with you, the race fan. Catch the Van Sickle Pet Value PV on the Lane 4 cylinders racing at Merrittville Speedway throughout the 2024 season. Check out Van Sickle Pet Value across from Best Buy and Walmart on 4th Avenue in St. Catharines, and PV on the Lane at the corner of Kaler Road and Lundy's Lane, Highway 20. All right, I'm standing by with the driver of the 4 mini stock, Mason Anderson. Broke through for his first win and also has our logo, the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast logo, on the side of the race car. First of all, appreciate the support, and talk to us about what it was like breaking through for your first career win this year.
It was a dream. I mean, I've always wanted to win, and I remember coming to the track when I was young, and it was just something I got done, and it was just put in the hours, and it paid off.
And one of the more unique things about this 4 car that helps you stand out is the Chucky theme, not just on the hood here, but you got Chucky doll riding along. Where did that come from, Mason? How did the Chucky race car tie-in come to be?
So I bought the Chucky doll, and I wanted it when I was 7. When I finally had money, my parents, they didn't care, so I just bought it. And then they were like, oh, you spent your money stupid. And then I was like, my race season was coming up, and they were saying that I shouldn't waste my money. So I put Chucky on the car, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna combine it.
It's almost like a metaphor for racing in general. Some people would argue that racing is a waste of money, but I don't think so, especially when you got a car that can get you into victory lane like it has once already this year. Talk to us about all the people that help get this 4 car to the racetrack each and every week.
Yeah, so a big shout out to my dad and my mom for all the support. My pit crew, Wyatt, Bryson, and go-getters. We got Advanced Towing, Sabo, Automotive Warehouse, Abe Designs, TMR, and all the fans too for all the support. Just thank you guys very much.
Awesome, there he is, Mason Anderson. We appreciate him rocking with the Southern Ontario Dirt Show logo on the Chucky ride here, and I'm sure we're going to see that 4 car up at the front more than a few times by the end of 2024. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right, we're standing by with Alex Riley, another Southern Ontario Dirt Show sticker star, representing the podcast when this beautiful 17 mini stock. And it's been one heck of a season for you, coming off the championship last year here at Merrittville. And I don't want to say improving on it, but like, you really guys have hit the ground running, not just here at Merrittville, but at Ohsweken. Talk to us about 2024 so far for the 17.
Yeah, it's been a great start to the year. We had a great start in May. Won our first race here, won again last week. Ohsweken, we won the first 2 races there as well, so we had a great start to the season. Struggled a little bit in June, but so far in July we've had a great bounce back, and hopefully to carry it on for the rest of the season.
And how do you defend a championship? Are you guys even thinking about that, or are you just thinking taking it race to race?
I mean, everyone can always say they take it race by race, but it's in the back of your head. When you're in that kind of contention, it's in the back of your head. But for me, it's all about consistency. I think our worst finish here this year has been 10th, so it's all about keeping the car in one piece, finishing your races in the top 5, and beating the cars that you got to beat every week.
And people are going to see, as they swipe through the photos here on our Instagram, they're going to see what is an absolutely beautiful car. Lots of great designs, obviously. Love seeing bones on the side of a race car as well. Who helps get you to the racetrack every week, Alex?
Yeah, there's tons of people that help us get here. My dad, JP, Uncle John, all the people that help us on a week-to-week basis at the track, in the garage. They're the people that kind of help us get the car here every week. We have amazing partners that we work with: Lundy's Lane, Van Sickle Pet Value, Dunnville Pet Value, the Niagara Ice Dogs, of course. Big Country Raw, they've been a sponsor with us for a number of years. Glendale Canadian Tire, we have Reggie's Automotive, Footpath to Wellness Reflexology, Niagara Chrysler, Dodge Jeep and Ram, Runner's Edge, and then Country 89 91.7. They're new this year, and they have been great partners to us so far.
Awesome. Well, there it is, the 17 mini stock, always towards the front of the field. Alex, appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
And the checkered is out on another episode of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show, presented by Van Sickle Pet Value and Lundy's Lane Pet Value. Like what you hear? Rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Connect with us on Facebook at Southern Ontario Dirt Show, or find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at SODS_pod. Have a question for the show? Email us at southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com. Thanks for supporting local racing in Southern Ontario, and we'll see you at the track.